call this meeting to order, this regular meeting on Tuesday, June 9th at 7 o'clock p.m. Ms. Howe, if you will call the roll, please.
Ms. Schilling.
Here.
Mr. Dawson.
Present.
Mr. Ritt. Ms. Eulis.
Here.
Mr. Callie.
Here.
Mr. Pape.
Here.
Mr. King. Vice Mayor McDonald.
Here.
Mayor Anderson.
Present.
Thank you, Ms. Howell. And if you will, stand for the prayer and pledge. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for the privilege and responsibility to serve the city of Fairview. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we deliberate and make decisions that will impact the lives of our citizens. May we always strive to be just, fair, and compassionate in our actions. Lord, unite our hearts and minds in a spirit of cooperation and understanding. Forgive our sins and guide us to make decisions that reflect your will and honor your name. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Ms. Howell, do we have any citizens' comments this evening?
None tonight.
None tonight. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda from,
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Mr. Callie.
Aye.
Mr. Pape.
Aye.
Ms. Schilling. Mr. Dawson.
Aye.
Ms. Eulis.
aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 6, approval of minutes from the regular meeting on Tuesday, May 12th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Callie Pape,
Mr. Callie.
Aye.
Mr. Pape.
Aye.
Ms. Schilling. Mr. Dawson.
Aye.
Ms. Eulis.
abstain.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 7, old business. No items on the agenda tonight. Moving on to item 8, new business. Item A, PC Resolution 20-26, Site Plan Non-Residential, Map 42, Parcel 177, Acreage .94, Current Zoning MSMU POD, Property Owner Fairview Town Center LLC. We'll entertain a motion.
Make a
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks.
Is that Anderson and Callie? Okay. Thank you. Staff, if you will give us a report.
Thank you, Chair. And Planning Commission, Eric Olson of Anderson, Delk, and Epps has submitted on behalf of Fairview Town Center LLC a site plan to construct 5 live-work units totaling 14,046 square feet within a single building. The site development plan also illustrates all required parking, stormwater infrastructure, landscaping, and all necessary water and wastewater infrastructure. Just to note, all of the adjacent right-of-ways, open spaces, and easements were created with the City Center Phase 1 final plat. That was project number PLTF 250006, which you all saw a few months ago. Track 6, this project location contains 0.94 acres and is zoned mixed-use Main Street. And this project was created and begun under the previous zoning ordinance and based on section 1.23.8 of the new development code. This project will continue to be reviewed under the approved master development plan. The property to the west of track 6 is also zoned Main Street mixed use. Also, the property to the south and east is also zoned Main Street mixed use. Those 2 areas contain future phases of the city center development, as well as the remaining portions of phase 1 of the city center development. Properties to the north are zoned CD4 neighborhood center and are currently vacant. Given that the city center development was approved under a master development plan, the Planning Commission does need to make the determination that this site development plan is in substantial compliance per section 10-203.5 of the previous zoning ordinance. Staff has reviewed the submitted site development plan for City Center Track 6, and it does meet or satisfy all of the conditions, standards found in section 10-203.5. And so staff does present to the Planning Commission that this is in substantial compliance with the approved master development plan for the City Center development. Given that, staff does recommend the Planning Commission approve the site development plan for Track 6 of City Center in order to construct 5 live-work units in a single building totaling 14,046 square feet, all required parking, utility infrastructure, as it was resubmitted on May 15th, 2026, with conditions of approval included in Resolution PC 20-26.
Thank you. Are there any questions, commentary from the Planning Commission? Well, first, is there anyone here that represents the project that would like to speak? If you will, state your name and address, please.
Eric Olson, Anderson Delk Epps, 618 Grasmere Park Drive, Nashville, Tennessee. I can answer any questions y'all might have as far as for the site.
Thank you. Anyone have questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and call our vote.
Mayor Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Cowley,
Aye.
Mr. Pape,
Aye.
Ms. Schilling, Mr. Dawson,
Aye.
Ms. Shoelist,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
All right, motion passes
Thank you.
Congratulations.
7-0. All right, moving on to item B, PC Resolution 2126, rezoning of 7319 Wiley Circle, map 042I or 1, Group A, parcel 005, acreage 7.53, current zoning is CD3, proposed zoning CD4, property owner Living Large LLC. I will entertain.
Make a motion to approve PC 2126.
Callie Schilling. All right, staff, if you will give us your report.
Thank you. This project at 7319 Wiley Circle is a rezoning. It is for the entirety of the 7.53 acre property. The parcel is currently zoned CD3, Neighborhood General, and the request is to rezone to CD4, Neighborhood Center. The property is located on the south side of Wiley Circle at the intersection with Mangrum Drive. All of the surrounding properties are located within the municipal boundaries of Fairview and contain either single-family residential land uses or approved for single-family detached residential land uses or are currently vacant. The properties to the north and west are zoned C2 rural. The property to the south is on Main Street mixed use and is the existing Fairview City Center development project. Property to the east is zoned CD4, Neighborhood Center. This property is in the 2040 Fairview Forward Plan. This property is designated with 2 future land use classifications: Legacy Neighborhood, residential medium, and the residential transition neighborhood future land use classification. The residential transition classification covers approximately 1.18 acres and is the area with frontage on Wiley Circle. The remaining 6.2 acres of the property is classified as Legacy Neighborhood residential medium. The Legacy residential medium classification does list 2 appropriate character districts, and that is CD3 as well as CD4. The transition neighborhood classification provides 1 character district as appropriate, and that is CD3L, neighborhood large lot. So the requested character district of C4 does align with the appropriate character district for the legacy neighborhood residential classification, which is the largest portion of the property. It does not align with the residential transition neighborhood classification, which is the portion of the property that fronts along Wiley Circle. Both future land use classifications do list single-family detached residential as appropriate land uses, which is the stated land use for this development if the rezoning was to occur. The applicant has met with staff, previous staff several times in discussing, and the request for CD4 has come out of those discussions. The desire is to create a single-family detached residential development that would link City Center with Wiley Circle, vehicular through a roadway. CD4 does provide 6 units per acre as a maximum. That would be an approximate total of 45 units per acre, but that does not include removing land for roadways, infrastructure, drainage, or anything of that nature. And again, the development would create a road linkage between City Center and Wiley Circle. Staff is recommending Planning Commission provide a favorable recommendation to the Fairview Board of Commissioners to approve the request to rezone all 7.53 acres of the property located at 7319 Wiley Circle from the current zoning of CD3 to CD4 with a condition of approval. And the condition of approval is the specific dates that it would go in front of the BOC.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight who represents the project? Be willing to answer questions, commentary? Okay. Any questions or comments from the Planning Commission?
Madam Chair.
Sure.
Just one question. I hate that we literally just put in a new zoning ordinance and we're immediately considering a rezoning. Was there any consideration at this on changing this parcel when we were doing the zoning plan change?
I myself do not know that. I don't know if there were any conversations prior to the adoption of the new zoning map. I know that the applicant has met with Ethan several times prior to submittal of this rezoning. I don't know if there were any conversations between them and Ethan prior to the adoption of the map. So I'm sorry I can't answer that question because I personally did not have any conversations with them.
Madam Chair.
Sir?
So how many houses did you say we could put on this property or potentially would be on it?
I heard 45?
145?
Let me turn that on.
No, 45.
Yeah, the
45.
maximum based on CD4 provides a maximum of 6 units per acre, and it is 7.5 acres. So a maximum would be 45 units. However, that's without any kind of roadways, any type of drainage. As far as what the actual yield would be, I'm not really sure what that would be specifically. I know Ethan had told me that they were, again, discussing a direct link from City Center all the way up to Wiley Circle, so that would be a little bit larger right-of-way, so that would take out more right-of-way, more property than just a standard street. So not knowing all of those acreages for the roadways, I'm not really sure how that would reduce the unit numbers.
And you're saying, though, the only access to this property or this subdivision would be from Wiley Circle?
Correct.
Okay.
It has frontage on Wiley Circle, and then the plan that Ethan had shown us showed that there would be a connection into City Center where one of the City Center roads stub out to the property boundary. That was their desire.
Okay.
I was not part of those conversations, but that's kind of where the applicant had ended the potential for design and how they would like to
Gotcha.
lay it out.
And I'm pretty sure all of the area around there is half-acre or more lots.
I believe you're correct. The property to the east is also zone CD4, so there would be the potential on the property to the east. They would have potential for a similar density. Obviously, to the south would be the later phases of City Center. So again, that would be a little bit higher density in terms of residential. I don't remember if those were attached products or detached in those later phases of City Center, but the applicant had talked about how they wanted to kind of use this property as a transition from City Center, a little bit higher density, up to Wiley Circle where it is a little bit lower density. But you are correct. I think to the north and to the west would be lower density, but the property to the east would have the potential for a higher density. So essentially, you kind of have southern and eastern properties would be either approved higher densities or potential for higher density. Properties to the north and west would be, at this time, would be lower densities.
A pretty established neighborhood in that area.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
General question, not so much about this project, but this is the first time I'm seeing the CD designation paired with the historical designation of like legacy neighborhood, medium density, et cetera. Is that how we'll see them going forward for the ones that already had an application in process, or?
So at this point in time, I believe we will have one more project next month that will continue to have the older, the past zoning ordinance designations. But this will be this is the first one that is requesting any type of zoning or is been submitted after the adoption of the new development code. And so that's why you'll see the CD3 and the CD4 here. The other items tonight are older zoning designations. And then we do have one other project that will be next month that will be under the old code,
Got it.
old zoning ordinance. And then all the other projects next month will be under the new code.
Understood. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Ma'am?
I'm just curious how much the house would go for, what they were thinking.
I didn't have that conversation. That was not provided to us at staff applicant meeting. We were just shown a basic layout of what they had liked to move towards, but I am unsure of any potential value or cost.
Madam Chair,
Sir?
the Wiley Circle, did they say anything about traffic on Wiley Circle? Talking 45 units, that road is,
They will have to do a traffic study because it's over 30, right? Or at the discretion,
Correct.
so they will.
Again, we're in
will
the
have one.
rezoning stage. That was a discussion item when we had the staff applicant meeting. It was recognized that was a tight road, if you will, and potentially some improvements may need to be made.
very good, thank you.
At this stage, we're just considering a rezone, and it's, the applicant doesn't have to share yet what their what their plan is. So we just have to consider what's on the table in front of us. Yes, Mr. Kelly?
To the staff, what is the density difference between CD3 and CD4?
I do believe the one of the points of the request for CD4 may be the potential for more narrow lot widths. I believe that was the one of the driving forces that led to the decision to request CD4.
Madam Chair,
Sir?
I just want to echo a few points that were already addressed, but just for the sake of the record, I agree with Mr. Pape that we just went through the entire rezoning of the entire city, and I think that these properties were looked at by staff and identified to be the way they are for a reason, and knowing what, it's a rezoning. Wiley Circle is borderline a one-lane road, and I understand that there'd be future improvements potentially to that road, but given the character of the neighboring community, I think 4 units per acre in that area would be more sufficient for the character.
Any other comments or questions from the Planning Commission? All right, hearing none, Ms. Howe, if you will, call our vote, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Nay.
Ms. Schilling? Mr. Dawson?
Nay.
Ms. Shoelist?
Aye.
Mr. Pape?
Nay.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Nay.
Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
All right, motion fails 5-2. All right, moving on to item C, PC Resolution 2226, Master Development Plan, Map 18, Parcel 38, Acreage 20.26. Current zoning is RM8, property owner OP, Highberry Point Prop LLC.
Make a motion to approve PC 2226.
Second.
Right, Callie Dawson. All right, staff, if you will, give us the report, please.
Allison Corolla with T-Square Engineering has submitted master development plan for the Highberry Point Townhome Development. Project is townhome development consisting of 110 units, 2 private right-of-ways, 2 stormwater ponds, 1 pump station lot, 2 open spaces. The parcel is currently zoned RM8, multifamily residential, and contains 20.26 acres. The property was rezoned to CD4 with the adoption of the new development code. However, the project was submitted prior to the adoption of the development code. Therefore, it is being reviewed under the RM8 zoning standards per section 1.23.2 of the new development code. There is no designated flood hazard area, Zone X, located on the property. The project is requesting 2 exceptions to requirements found within the Fairview Design Review Manual. The first requested exception is related to the tree bank fund. The requested tree bank fund contribution is in the amount of $134,450. This is noted on sheet L 1.0, the landscape plan that was provided. The second exception being requested is from the requirement for a minimum 70% brick coverage on all elevations of a building. The request is to reduce the brick coverage from 70% and utilize hardy board, which is listed in section 2-1046 as a permissible building material. The proposed percentages of brick and hardy board are listed in the letter of compliance, I believe that was provided in your packets for this evening. Fairview Forward 2040 plan, the property is classified as interchange business/development district, future land use classification. And the future land use classification does note multifamily residential as an appropriate land use. Again, the current property zoning is RM8, and although that does not align with the interchange business employment district land use, future land use classification, the zoning is in place at this time. Staff is recommending Planning Commission approve the master development plan for Highberry Point Townhomes development to construct 110 units, 2 stormwater ponds, 2 private right-of-ways, 1 pump station lot, 2 common open space exposed areas, all necessary stormwater infrastructure, water and sewer infrastructure, as resubmitted on May 14th, 2026, with conditions of approval. Again, just to restate, that is a request being made to make a contribution to the tree bank fund. Also a request to reduce percentage of brick on the elevations and replacing that with hardy board material. Another condition of approval is the applicant owner engineer shall secure all necessary TDOT permits and provide copies of all permits to the City of Fairview Planning Office, as well as applicant shall address all outstanding staff comments in GovWell.
Thank you.
And there are representatives here tonight.
All right, if they would like to step forward, state their name and address for the record, please.
Evening, I'm Allison Corolla from T-Square Engineering. Our address is 111 Southeast Parkway Court in Franklin. Here to answer any questions. I appreciate the staff report from Kevin is indicated we're seeking approval for 110 townhome style units, approximately over about 20 acres worth of land. We've got substantial amount of tree canopy preservation as well as stream buffer preservation throughout the site. It will be private rights of way, so it won't become public maintenance encumbrance upon the city. So those will all be privately owned and maintained, providing a playground and other smaller amenities for the residents. So here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Corolla.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
Mayor.
Ms. Corolla, Mr. Pascarella, I have reviewed your plans and we've spoken several times about this development. I do want to say that I've seen other developments out here with townhomes, and I'm in favor of different materials. It just gives it a better look. There's some out here that are solid brick, and in my opinion, what you're asking for is on our list of approved exterior product, and I just think it looks better when we have different products and not just a flat brick facade. There are townhomes out here that have that, and I just don't think they're very appealing. So I appreciate that you've brought a different product to us that is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm in favor of what you're asking for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Sir?
I just have one thing on this one. I think you guys did a good job putting the application together and everything. It's not really a question for you guys. It's more of a comment for staff and the rest of the commissioners. I live not too far from this, and this is a very heavily wooded site. And when I looked at kind of the tree save calculations and the buy-in, it just felt light to me. And so, obviously our code does allow the sample areas, but it doesn't specify exactly how the calculations are done. And again, it just felt really light. A lot of the sample areas only had one 10-inch tree, and the way the applicant did the calculations is they kind of looked at the average of each individual. They did 40 tenth of an acre parcels for a total of 4 acres. So they came up with basically an average of 55.6 inches or 556 inches per acre. But when you look at their landscape plan, they had 7,645 inches surveyed in those 40 plots, and that was 4 acres. When you just do a really simple average and divide that 7,645 by the 4 acres, you come up with 1,911 per acre, a substantial difference. And to me, that feels like a more average, a better calculation of the average, but it is a substantial difference. When you take that and run it through the calculations, you end up with 15,510 required inches to be saved. You deduct the 4 acres they're saving. You go through the calculation, you take out the 1824 of replacement inches, and you come up with 13,686 that you'd have to buy into the tree bank, and that totals $684,000 instead of the $134,000. Substantial difference, but to me that feels like a better average is the point there. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but and whether staff has any comments on that versus the calculation they submitted.
I appreciate your feedback. Just one note. So as you noted on the tree inventory survey, so that was consolidated with the Highbury Point multifamily townhomes, their multifamily development that you guys have seen before you recently. And so we were mimicking the same calculations and same verbiage that was approved on that plan. So that's just kind of how we got to the calculations on this plan.
Does staff have any feedback on those calculations?
Mr. Pape is correct that we do permit that they can do the pick out the plots, but it does not specify exactly how that will be calculated. And so obviously the applicant can use their methodology, and that comes in through the process. In terms of what's before us, this began before I was involved with it, so I'm not sure if there was discussion between staff or an applicant and how that was come to be at this calculation. So unfortunately, I can't give any insight to how this process or how it came to this point in terms of choosing those plots or anything of that nature. I don't know the involvement staff had with the development of that. So I apologize, but I was not part of any of those discussions. So.
And to add to that, it looks like the dates, and Allison, correct me if I'm wrong, looks like there were comments from the city on July 19th, 2021, and then August 23rd, 2022. That'd be prior to my involvement, and I think Ethan's involvement as well. Is that correct, Allison?
That's correct. It was in accordance with the previous, when the multifamily came through. And so again, we just mimicked those exact same calculations, obviously with the differing acres and differing tree canopy or tree propositions.
And this is not considered like a later phase of the greater Highbury Point
Separate development. Yes, ma'am.
Totally separate, okay. I don't know that we in this body can dictate any kind of calculation standard going forward. We just have to take what is in front of us and for what it is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Patrick. So any other questions? Sir?
I guess I'm kind of curious because what Mr. Pape just laid out did make quite a bit of sense. So is there, just from how should we take that information?
Well, I think it's an interesting comment, but this is not a legislative body, and so you have to take what's written and use that, and it's not to be extrapolated beyond that. That would be for the BOC if they want to make an amendment to the UDC to provide further clarification. Perhaps that's an amendment we could look at further down the road. I don't know, but that's not for this body. Mr. Pape is permitted to have an opinion about it, of course, but that's the code is silent on that, and so I think we have to be careful not to subscribe a meaning where there's not necessarily a basis for one, as logical as Mr. Pape might be.
Any other comments or questions? Staff is researching something and they will get back to us. Should we take a 5-minute recess? Okay. We can take a.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Apologize for that internal conversation there about.
Anything you want to share with the class?
It was just in the code, it talks about isolated trees or forested areas, and it was just, Curtis was asking about the application of that, and it's just showing that, as Mr. Pape pointed out, it does talk about forested areas and how you can use that 1/10 acre tract or plot and use those throughout the development. And then
Sure.
that's how it's extrapolated over the whole site. So it was just, they do have a section in there talking about isolated trees, so meaning applying that to areas where you can point out these trees are isolated, not in a forested area. So it was just a discussion on the distinction between
Sure.
how that would be handled in a tree survey.
I do agree for this larger body here that some standardization should be implemented for calculations, like obviously done by the Board of Commissioners, not here and not by us, but it is worth thinking about for the future that I feel like Nashville has something very similar where it's a very standard calculation, dollar amounts tied to caliper replacements, things like that. But for the purposes of tonight, it impacting our decision is probably limited, considering it is not within our wheelhouse to make that decision, change the calculations, make a standard tonight. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, and I would point out one thing in the section that Curtis just showed and we referenced earlier is it does say the plots are to be approved by the city engineer, and given that the initial comments on the project were 2021, 2022, which was prior to Curtis and I assisting the city and Ethan being on staff, we don't have we don't have any information about if those discussions were handled, or there's no document that say that those plots were approved or not approved. We're going to presume that since it came in and has gone through the process, that those plots were approved by previous staff, and so that was the basis for moving through the process, and that's how we have what we have today before us.
Appreciate it. Okay. Any further questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Howell, if you will, call our vote, please.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Dawson,
Aye.
Ms. Schilling, Ms. Shoelist,
Aye.
Mr. Pape,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right. That was the last item under new business. Moving on to number 9, reports for discussion and information. Reports or updates from the city planning staff.
Well, we appreciate y'all's work and reviewing all these projects tonight, and coming out and having the discussions we've had. Obviously, we're kind of cobbling it together here. Nick is holding down the office every day, and Curtis and I are I don't know, helping as we can as we need it. So we appreciate all the help that Nick's given us, and appreciate all the help that y'all are giving us as well. Any questions y'all have, feel free to reach out to us. We'll do our best to respond to you as quick as possible.
Thank you. All right. Anything for the city manager position? No, okay. City engineer.
Thank you, Planning Commission. Just want to request, Mr. Pape, if you could share those calculations you went through. I'd love to take a look at them and see how the new code handles that particular situation. If we kind of encounter that same issue, would love to receive that if you don't mind.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I kind of did that to just point out that because it's not addressed in the code, there's so many ways to do it. It can be a drastic difference for the town or for the city. And I think what we should do, and I'm glad to work with you guys and even come over and sit down and let's come up with a standardized way to apply that. You guys can then present that forward to the board. I think it's part of the design standards, not the code. And so, but either way, we can make a tweak to that. And, I just, again, engineers can make the numbers work however we want to. So it's like everybody can work them differently. So let's get a consistent one so that this question doesn't come up again. So I appreciate that.
All right. City attorney. No? Okay. All right. Planning Commission roundtable. I will start on my right side with Commissioner Dawson. Any updates from you, sir?
I believe we've got a birthday coming up here, July 4th.
Like, not mine.
Big 250th birthday for the United States of America. Happy birthday, United States of America. Everybody have a really safe and happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Schilling?
He said it good, so I'm just going to echo.
Okay. All right. Mayor Anderson?
I just wanted to let everybody know that our Roundtown Coffee is in the morning here at City Hall at 8:30 a.m. It's a great time to collaborate and just talk to elected officials and city business owners, and just kind of get to know everybody who's doing great things in our community. Congratulations to the two that got voted in tonight. These are great projects, and I know that everybody's excited about City Center. And Mr. Pasquarello, we've been working together for a long time, and I'm really excited what you are going to bring to Fairview is just a notch above. And I know that everybody's going to see that. I've seen many of your developments, and I just have to say I'm really excited. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. Vice Mayor McDonald?
Thank you, Chair. I just had a question for staff. I asked it a couple months ago, and I'm not sure if anything ever came of it, but just to reiterate, can we get an update on where we are as far as continued education hours for the current Planning Commission members, and what needs to be done and when those need to be completed by?
We will-
Obviously not right now,
Yeah,
but
we'll
just
figure
something to
that
put
out
on your
and-
radar.
yes.
And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Callie?
Just a thank you to the staff, and everybody have a great 4th.
Thank you. Vice Chair Pape?
Thank you to the staff. I know you guys are, piecing stuff together and dealing with applications that were before you guys were here. So we appreciate all the efforts. And I know that's not always easy. Definitely everybody enjoy the 4th of July, and thank you.
Question for me, for staff. The tree bank thing has come up a lot, and I always wanted to know, we don't have a formal program of how to use tree bank money, do we?
Storm firm, storm firm. Storm firm.
Should specify the uses within the code. We can pull that language and send all to you if you would like. I think that'd be beneficial just moving forward. Because
Yeah,
obviously we don't have too many projects left in the old code, but
sure.
the new code may say something similar or different.
The tree bank and then sidewalk, I know those are two separate things, but I feel like that we just collect money, collect, and it just sits there not being deployed back into the city like it could be.
Help me if I'm wrong, was the tree bank fund recently used for Bowie Park?
That's what has been recommended.
So
is the
be-
cleanup
mhm.
money that was spent in Bowie Park.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. But that's it for me. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.